Hello and welcome to this short video presentation about a Charter for Change we've developed in Wales. My name is Rachael Vaughan and I work at Cardiff University at the research centre called CASCADE, which is the Children's Social Care Research and Development Centre here. I'll be presenting this short video today, sharing the work that we've done in Wales, developing this charter for young people who are in foster care or residential care, who become parents or that have left foster care or residential care and become young parents. This charter work began following a research project by Dr. Louise who is presenting another video that goes into the details of her research. But one of the key findings really was the potential for this group of young people, so young people that are in or leaving care that become pregnant and they're parenting, to have unmet needs. So have support needs that were not being met by the local authority and be more at risk of living apart from their children. So that is what motivated the beginning of this charter work and looking to create change and provide some kind of framework to support these young people. There have been positive developments, however, in Wales following Louise's project. There have been peer support groups set up for parents to support each other. There's been the development of a specific project with the National Youth Advocacy Service here in Wales that provides holistic wraparound support for these young parents that includes one-to-one support, emotional support, practical support, but also advocacy then as well. And more generally, parental advocacy, as opposed to child advocacy, has really been something that has developed over the last couple of years in Wales, and the Welsh Government have really invested in that as well, so that has seen some change. But we really wanted the opportunity to strengthen this idea of corporate parenting. So this is a term that's used in the UK that means when the local authority and the local government becomes the parent, and the idea then that they should want for their young people in care and those that leave care what they would want for their own children, and also applies across the range of services that local government provide. So that includes housing and health, rather than just being the responsibility of social services. So that's where we've come from, and that's where we're positioning this work that we've done. So this was the plan for our project originally. It started in January 2021 and was supposed to finish this January, but has actually been extended a bit wider. So we're still working on it, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a moment. But the original plan was to co-produce some sort of charter with young people that have this experience themselves, but also with third sector and charities, policymakers and professionals and academics. Then the idea was to develop some resources to have the work that we've created in as many accessible formats as we could, to then lead on to the final part of the project was to share it and raise awareness and hopefully get commitments and sign up from across Wales and wider to the work that we're doing. So the way that we developed the charter was we thought it was really important that actually we centralise the voice of lived experience, so working with young parents to support us to develop the charter from the very beginning. So we worked with them first, and we worked with two groups, so with our project partners, Voices from Care Cymru, and the National Youth Advocacy Service, Wales's young people that they engage with there. And we went back and forth, and we had a number of sessions where we brought this thing together, and they really put their stamp on it about what they wanted and the language that they wanted used in it as well. From there, we took it to policy partners, to charities that we work with across Wales and wider to get their feedback, really to make sure that we were heading in the right direction and we were developing something that would be usable and that really could make a tangible difference. And then finally, we went to social care practitioners themselves, to social work teams, to some meetings to individuals, to social work leaders in Wales and in England, to get their feedback and see if this was something that they felt that they would buy into and a framework that they would be able to use in their local authority. The Charter itself has 4 key areas. So the first one is help and support when pregnant. So what can young people expect there? What sort of things should we be thinking about? What should the support look like and what are some examples? Help and support when parenting. So what things need to be discussed? What things could put in place? What could help and support look like? A section on stigma and disadvantage that was really highlighted in Dr. Louise Roberts' research. So reflecting that back in and really highlighting some of the ways to avoid this and what we need to be thinking about here. And then finally, if concerns about parenting are raised and there are issues, what will that look like? What will support look like? What should be put in place for the parent then? The range of resources that we've developed include a PDF version of the Charter, but also a leaflet, an illustrated leaflet that we felt would lend itself better to being read through and looked through with a parent themselves, so for a practitioner to use there to talk about these areas of support. We've created 2 short films, one on the research and one on the Charter. We've got some blogs, we've got a podcast where we hear from third sector partners, the charity partners that were involved in the project, and some parents themselves reflecting on the development of the Charter, but also their lived experience. And finally, there's a webinar with Louise Roberts and myself discussing this work. All of our resources are available on the website and we're currently getting them translated into Italian. So just to finish then, I wanted to discuss where we're up to now and what we've been doing. So we've had lots of support and real positive feedback on this and about how it could be useful as a framework and as a discussion tool in local authorities for developing support for these young people. We've had letters of support from Welsh Government and from the Children's Commissioner here in Wales. We've also had support and been sharing the messages outside of Wales, so in England and Scotland and wider. The Louise Roberts and one of the parents that have been involved throughout the project, so both the research and the Charter, have been to the Petitions Committee and given evidence to the Welsh Government and the Welsh politicians about this area, about the findings from the research, the development of the Charter and the lived experience of the parents, raising it as an issue that really needs to be talked about and taken further. We've also spoken to all of the heads of children's services in Wales looking for sign up. On our resource page, we've got a map of Wales that gives the latest information about who's in the process of signing up, who has signed up already, and we've only not heard from 9 of the 22 local authorities in Wales so far, and we're working on those now. We've got continued funding and new funding to keep this work going, so to spread the messages wider, to go outside of Wales, like this video, to spread the message and to see if this Charter is something that could be useful in other areas. And we're also working with some parents now to generate resources around targeted messages for specific professionals. For example, these could be housing workers, or they could be health professionals that work with parents when they're expecting a child and when they first have a child, to think through some of the support and the stigma and discrimination around that as well. So that's where we're up to in this. I really hope that this has been something of interest to you, and as I said before, we're working on getting all of our resources translated into Italian, so hopefully this could be something that you can look at as well. If you'd like to contact us, our information is on the video now. We've got email addresses for our Cardiff University contact, if we could support it all or if you have any questions. Thank you very much.